Claude will change. New models will appear. AI capabilities that don't exist today will exist by this time next year. Most people hear that and feel anxious, like everything they've just learned is about to become obsolete. I want to spend the first few minutes of this video making the case for why the opposite is true. But first, we're here. Video 18, the last video in the series. 18 videos, 4 modules, 14 prompts, a complete sprint workflow, a team library, and a learning system to keep it all current. This is what you've built. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that before we get into the content, because completing an 18-video series isn't something most people do. You did. That means you now have something almost no QA tester has. A structured, tested, complete AI workflow that covers every phase of your work. That doesn't disappear when Claude updates. It grows. Let's talk about how. Here's what we're covering in this final video. Why AI changing quickly is actually good news for the testers who've invested in learning it, not a threat. Where specifically to watch for updates that affect your testing workflow. 5 sources, under 30 minutes a month. A simple 3-question framework for evaluating any new tool or feature before you spend time learning it. The human skills that AI genuinely cannot replace, and why they become more valuable, not less, as AI handles more of the routine work. And a practical monthly learning habit that keeps you current and ahead of the curve without turning into a second job. By the end of this video, you have everything you need to keep this workflow current and growing for the rest of your career. Let's address the anxiety directly. The concern most people have is, if Claude gets updated or a new model comes out, do I have to start over? Do my prompts stop working? Do I have to relearn everything? The answer is no, and here's why. When Anthropic updates Claude, they make it better at understanding and responding to structured input. The RCTF framework works because it gives Claude clear role, clear context, clear task, and clear format. A better model means that same structure produces better output. Your prompts don't break. They get sharper results for free. Think about it this way. Your test case prompt today produces 15 to 20 test cases with good coverage. When Claude's reasoning improves in 6 months, the same prompt produces 20 to 25 test cases with better edge case coverage. You didn't write a new prompt. You didn't pay for a course. You just opened Claude, and it was better. The testers who feel most disrupted by AI change are the ones who never built a system, who just tried different things ad hoc. The testers who built a structured workflow are the ones who benefit most from every update, because the improvement compounds across every prompt in their library. You built the system. You don't need to read AI news every day. You don't need to follow 10 Twitter accounts or watch every YouTube video about large language models. You need to watch 5 specific places. And most months, the total time commitment is under 15 minutes. First, Anthropic's release notes at anthropic.com/news. When Claude updates, they publish exactly what changed. You're looking for 3 things specifically: improved reasoning, longer context windows, and new integrations. Most updates won't affect your workflow at all, but when one does, you'll know within a day. Second, the What's New section inside Claude itself. Go to Claude.ai, click the question mark, click What's New. This is the fastest way to see what's been added to the version you're actually using. Takes 60 seconds once a month. Third, this channel. When something changes in Claude that affects QA testing specifically, I'll cover it here, with the prompts updated and the workflow adjusted. Subscribe and hit the bell. Fourth, Ministry of Testing, the largest QA community online. When something changes in AI testing tools, it gets discussed here within days by real testers with real experience. Check it quarterly or when you have a specific question. Filter everything through one question. Does this change how I prompt, what Claude can do, or how it integrates with my tools? If yes, worth 5 minutes. If no, move on. New AI tools appear every single week. AI TestBot, automated testing generators, smart coverage analyzers. Most of them are not worth your time, either because they don't solve a problem you have or because the output needs more editing than it would have taken to do it manually. Before you spend a single hour evaluating any new tool, run it through 3 questions. Question 1. Does it save time on something I do every sprint? If the answer is no, move on. A tool that solves a problem you don't have is not a productivity tool, it's a distraction. Question 2. Does it produce output I can use immediately, or does it need heavy editing? This is the question most people don't ask honestly enough. If you spend 20 minutes fixing a bug report that Claude generated in 3 minutes, you're not saving time, you're spending it differently, with extra steps. Question 3. Can I trial it meaningfully in one sprint without a major time investment? If the answer is no, if it requires a week of setup, a company decision, or a paid plan to evaluate properly, put it in the team decision category and move on from it personally for now. 3 questions, 2 minutes, tells you exactly whether a tool is worth your time or not. This is the slide I want you to remember most from this video. As AI handles more of the routine testing work, test case generation, bug report writing, regression planning, the skills that remain entirely human don't become less important. They become more visible, more valued, and more rare. The first is domain knowledge. Claude knows testing technique. It doesn't know your industry, your users, your product's history, or the business context behind a feature decision. A tester who genuinely understands what matters to the users finds bugs that no prompt ever surfaces, because those bugs only look like bugs if you understand what the user is trying to accomplish. The second is stakeholder communication. Claude writes a technically accurate bug report. You decide how to present a critical security vulnerability to a product manager who doesn't know what OWASP means and just wants to know if the release is safe. The ability to translate technical findings into business language that gets action, that is yours entirely. The third is exploratory instinct. The feeling a senior tester gets when they look at a new feature and think, something about the way this handles state is going to break. That comes from years of finding bugs that weren't in any spec. Claude can give you attack ideas. The instinct to know where to look is something that only develops through practice. Invest in these skills. They compound the same way prompt skills do, but they can't be automated. Here's the most practically reassuring thing I can tell you. The RCTF framework is not a Claude feature. It's a prompting principle. Give any language model a clear role, clear context, a specific task, and a defined format, and you will get better output than a vague question. This was true for GPT-3, it's true for Claude now. It will be true for whatever comes in 2 years. If you move to a different model tomorrow, whether by choice or by company decision, your prompts transfer directly. You paste them in, adjust for the new model's formatting preferences, and you're running. The library you've built is portable. Beyond the framework, your sprint workflow is also model agnostic. Monday preparation, Tuesday and Wednesday testing, Thursday bug reports, Friday release prep. This structure doesn't depend on Claude. It depends on having a tool that can generate structured output from structured input. Every major language model can do that. And the most important constant, human judgment stays at the center, always. No matter how capable AI becomes, the decision about what to test, what risk level to accept, and whether to recommend a release, that stays with you. Build your skills around that. The learning habit I'm recommending takes less than 1 hour per month. Here's exactly what it looks like. After each sprint, 2 minutes. Write down one prompt that underperformed this sprint and what you'd add to fix it. That's it. 2 minutes of reflection that becomes the raw material for your monthly update. First Monday of every month, 10 minutes. Check Anthropic's release notes. Check what's new inside Claude. Look for anything that changes how you prompt or what you can do. Most months there'll be one thing worth a note. Monthly, 20 minutes. Take the sprint notes you collected and fix the prompts. Update the library. If you're on a team, this is your monthly review session. If you're solo, it's 20 minutes with a cup of coffee. Quarterly, one sprint. Pick one new Claude capability and apply it to a real sprint. Not as an experiment, as a real change to your workflow. Evaluate it honestly. Keep it if it works, move on if it doesn't. Total time under 60 minutes per month. That is all it takes to stay genuinely ahead of 90% of testers in how they use AI. The discipline isn't in the volume of learning, it's in the consistency. Let's look at the full picture of what you've covered. Module 1, Getting Started, introduced Claude, set up the workspace, and gave you the RCTF framework that underpins everything. Module 2, Core Testing Tasks, 7 videos covering test cases, bug reports, exploratory testing, test data, test planning, suite review, and regression testing, the daily fundamentals. Module 3, Advanced Use Cases, API testing, accessibility, security, understanding complex specs, and building your prompt library, the skills that make a senior tester. Module 4, Real-World Workflows, putting it all together into a full sprint from Monday to Friday, scaling it to a team, and building the habit to keep it current. 18 videos, 40 plus individual prompts, 14 in your permanent library, 4 complete modules, a sprint workflow, a team system, and a learning habit that keeps all of it growing. That is a complete professional AI-powered QA practice. You built it over 18 videos. It is yours. So, what do you do now? 4 things. First, run the sprint workflow in your next sprint. Not all of it at once, if that feels like too much. Start with Monday and Thursday. Use prompt 11 on Monday morning and prompt 2 on Thursday afternoon. See what changes. Second, share the prompt library with your team this week. Send the link, run a 30-minute walkthrough. Make it a team tool instead of a personal one. The multiplier effect is immediate. Third, subscribe and hit the bell. This series is complete, but the channel isn't. New content on AI and QA is coming every week. Updates when Claude changes, new techniques as they emerge, answers to the questions you're asking in the comments. Fourth, email me your results. Genuinely. Tell me what sprint task changed most for you. Tell me which prompt saved you the most time. Tell me what you do differently. I read every email and every comment. The link is in the description. This series took a long time to build because I wanted it to be the resource I wished I'd had when I first started using AI in my QA work. I hope it was. Thank you for watching all 18 videos.